Hey guys, it's James and we are back at week 4 of the M1 Finance Battle where we compare 5 covered calls, 5 S&P 500 ETFs, 5 REITs, and 5 Nasdaq 100 ETFs and see how they track week by week in the course of 2022. And in the first time this year, we have had some green the entire year, and you can see here later on in the video, most of the time this year, the graphs have trended downward, but we have seen a little bit of growth in the covered call section and the S&P 500 section. So each of the 4 categories, we have 5 holdings, so it gives us a total of 20 holdings. And today we are sitting at $895, down from $1,000 invested on January 1st. Let's head over to the spreadsheet and check out how we are doing visually in each of the categories. So if we take a look at the bold box here, the covered calls have been winning week after week and only slightly. However, you can see the S&P 500 in the S&P 500 ETFs in the orange have started to come up very slightly, and they were the biggest gainer this week in week 4. So in each category, we have the starting value of $250 and then what the final value of each of the 5 holdings has been after each week, and then the weekly difference, and then the total difference starting from $250. So the REITs dropped about 1% compared to last week and a total of 9% from the starting value. The covered calls rose close to 0.2% and have dropped close to 6% from the starting value of $250. The S&P 500 ETFs rose almost 1% this week, but have dropped almost a total of 8%. The Nasdaq 100 ETFs dropped another 0.2% this week. Not as bad as last week. Last week was the worst week at minus 11%. And the Nasdaq 100 ETFs are off about 20% from the starting value. The total portfolio value has dropped from $1,000 to $895 at minus 0.06 drop compared to last week, and a minus 10.5% drop compared to the starting value. So you can see that it looks like we are slowing on our decline. Hopefully things will turn around here in the first quarter and we will start to see some gains. So let's head over to the weekly tracker and determine how much each of the holdings have risen or lost and who is the winner in each category. We start with the REITs in green here, and in week 4, Welltower has continued to take the cake. They are still the highest, the best performing REIT. And if you're not familiar with Welltower, they deal with the real estate concerning the senior care living and senior housing. It looks like right here became very close to overtaking Welltower this week, but they did not. You can check over on the graph right here. You can see Realty Income Trust or Realty Income Corp almost overtook Welltower, and they very well possibly could overtake Welltower here in week 5. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And the tech REITs have continued to fall and continued to be the lowest REITs in this portfolio. We come down to the covered calls, and the covered calls have been outperforming the 3 other categories that we've chosen for this battle. And the covered calls have continued to outperform the rest of the market here as it has slid. But if we take a peek, it looks like DIVO and PBP have been going back and forth between who is the best covered call, and currently DIVO and PBP are tied this week at $48.20. And you can see PBP and DIVO in the orange and blue have been tracking each other very closely. XYLD is in 3rd place right behind them, and QYLD and RYLD probably more tech heavy, with QYLD being the Nasdaq and RYLD being the Russell 2000, have more tech-focused stocks which have plummeted here in the month of January 2022, taking the bottom slots. We come down to the S&P 500 ETFs. We have 3 S&P 500 ETFs that have been tracking each other very closely: IVV, SPLG, and SPY here in the middle, with the VOO taking the cake here again in week 4. It has slid from its top value of $50.46 down to $48.60, but it is slightly up compared to last week. And you can see the S&P 500 value stocks such as Disney and Johnson & Johnson, stocks that have been around a very long time, paying a nice dividend for a very consistent basis. You can see that they have been outperforming the S&P 500 in the current market situation of almost everything being down in the month of January 2022. And the growth stocks, which are more tech heavy, it looks like they are still taking last place in the S&P 500 ETFs, but we have seen a little uptick in VOOG from 43.76 to 44.27. And last but not least, we have the Nasdaq 100 ETFs. And this week, QQQ took the top spot, but only by a penny compared to QQM. QQQ and QQM have been tracking very similar here on the graph, with the yellow and the blue overlaying each other in the top line here. And then we have QQJ, QYLD, and TQQ, with QYLD and TQQ being leveraged funds, where QYLD is 2 times leveraged and TQQQ is 3 times leveraged. In basic terms, they use debt to try to beat the market. However, when the market is down, they lose twice as fast and 3 times as fast compared to regular stocks. As the market, or as the Nasdaq, starts to come back up, I'd love to see how fast they can overtake some of these other more traditional ETFs. So there you have it. That is week 4 for the M1 finance battle in 2022. That is our weekly update. Head down into the comments and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think February is going to be like. And thanks for watching.